Thanks, Reina. Good afternoon, everyone. There has been a rapid growth in the large bore catheter-based procedures. In 2020, there were more than 500,000 such procedures done. Let's talk about three patients with very different conditions that underwent these procedures. Susan underwent a procedure called TAVR. Wang had a procedure called PVAR. Angela had a PCI procedure along with the use of a device called Impella. In all these procedures, a catheter was inserted through the femoral artery of the patient. They were promised that these catheter-based procedures are very safe and they will go home the next day. While the primary procedure was very successful, they all end up having complications, bleeding and closure device failure. Susan ended up requiring additional closure devices. Wang required placement of a covered stent, and Angela required surgical repair. Fortunately, they all recovered, but end up spending several extra days in the hospital. Bleeding and closure, the complications and closure device failure is a large and growing problem. Bleeding complications happen in about 18% of these procedures. 10% of these cases have failure of closure devices. What is the impact? Well, the risk of mortality goes by 2 times. The length of stay increases by 3 times, 2 times the cost of procedure. 50% of cases of closure devices require additional intervention. We are developing the xInch access management system to address these problems. The device is based on a proven surgical principle called purse string technique and involves sutures that are anchored in the vessel wall across the access site and cinched in an automated fashion. Our beachhead market of large bore closure is estimated to be 300 million in 2020 and dominated by one product that has a pretty high failure rate. What we have done so far? Well, we have a provisional patent that we filed earlier this year. And we have also done some concept feasibility studies. In the next few months, we are doing our animal labs and also doing FDA pre-submission. Our plan is to do our first in-man study in the second half of next year. And with that, I'll close here and take any questions.
Thank you, judges. We have 1:40.
It's very exciting. Is there data that you've used on animals that shows how your technique performs against the current device on the market? And does that look very promising?
We have done some benchtop testing on a pressurized swine aorta as a proof of concept, and we are moving into our animal studies starting next month.
Very good.
You mentioned 10% of them failing to close. What? Yeah. I'm sure there are a variety of causes for that. What percentage of those do you think you're addressing with your product?
Yes, that's a great question. One of the biggest causes for the market-leading technology failure is calcification inside the vessel. Most of these patients are elderly, and we believe that we could address or eliminate that problem because our device does not need to go through the vessel wall. We rely on the anchoring on the vessel wall. So we believe that we will be successful in the calcified vessel and address that failure mode.
And you do that immediately before the catheter is injected, or so?
Yes, so that's another difference between our device and the competitive devices. The competitive devices or what is solution is available in the market are only providing the permanent hemostasis or closure at the end of the procedure. We are not only providing the closure at the end of the procedure, but we are also providing a continuous hemostasis and addressing that bleeding or reducing bleeding throughout the procedure. So we will place this device before the procedure or as you start the procedure, and then at the end of the procedure, lock the device.